Until next time, try this segment, I want to talk to you about replacing some exterior crank seals in your bike. We all like it when we can replace the seal from the outside and not have to split the cases to do that. But there's some precautions that you should take before putting that seal in. Number one, if you have threads on the outside of your crank, which you probably will, you want to put a piece of duct tape over it or something just to protect the thread. You're not going to be there very long, but you don't want any damage on that thread. The object, of course, is to get the seal flush with this surface right here. You don't want it to go too deep inside and then hit the crank bearing that's in there. All you want to do is get it to this point, right where it's flush with the outside. Before I put the seal in, I take a little time and I put a little grease on it down where the crank is going to be rotating on it, and of course on the outside as well. You don't want to have a washer on there when you go to put it on that's the same size as the seal. I'll just demonstrate here on the old seal. This is the old seal that I took out. If you look, you can see that this piece that I'm going to use is the exact same size as the seal. You don't want that. You want to use something a little bit bigger, because what you want is that washer to hit this surface right here. You only want the seal to go so deep down on that seal surface. So let's begin by taking the seal and we'll slip it over the crank. Now, gently push it in there, keep an eye on it, make sure that you're even all the way around, just like that, because you want to go in, of course, squarely with that surface. We're going to put the larger washer on just like this, and what I'm doing here is I'm going to use a couple of extra ones just so I can hold it with this socket. Okay, you can use an old socket like this. Just make sure it's deep enough that it hits the washers here without hitting the end of your crank. Whether you use this, a much longer piece of pipe, or whatever it might be, plastic pipe is okay too. Whatever you're going to be using, you don't want it to hit the end of your crank. Now, I've got everything on there. The seal looks square. I'm going to gently tap that seal in. Making sure that my washer is over the edges of the seal. Because what I'm looking for, and I'll take this off just to show you for a second, I'm looking for this seal to go no deeper than the case, okay? I just want to get it right to where that seal is flush with the engine case. And there it is, nice and flush with the surface of the case. We didn't do any damage to the seal. Don't forget to take your tape off the end here of your crank when you're done. That's how you can put a seal in safely and securely, get it nice and flush to the case without doing any damage to the crank or any damage to the seal. Next time, try that.